go. Oh, babe, you know what I forgot to do? Take the neighbor a hat. Guys, what we're doing is we're waiting like usual. The wife and I, hi Stevie and Sarge. We're we better. Eric, I should have it loaded, but there's my bed and my refrigerator. It's not loaded at all. Eric's giving me crap, y'all, because we're leaving Friday or Thursday. I guess I'm gonna try to leave Thursday night, but we're going to Kansas for, I don't know, like 12 days. We're waiting, gonna give it till like 7:05. What time is it now, Lee?
7 o'clock.
Yeah, so we're gonna give it about 5 minutes, get some people in here, and then we're gonna get after it. Hey, look, here's the secret squirrel stuff. Acorns. You hunting the pine thickets, you need a bait. Go pick you up some acorns. Seems to work real well.
Acorns?
Acorns for the wife. And then if there's any of y'all on here that judge me all the time about my stuff, JX3 saddle stuff, trophy line saddle stuff, Lone Wolf, kayaks, and my XOP is in Mariana with Eric. I use them all. They're all just a tool. No one-stop shop, or at least for myself. We'll kind of go through this stuff we're gonna give away. So number one is from the buck video, giving a double pack of CAMO DUST away. And then the child riding the bicycle. She has a glass of wine, guys. I'm sorry, man. She gets a glass of wine, she gets wild. And then the other thing we're gonna give away is this muddy replacement seat. Have I used the Lone Wolf stuff? I missed that message. I think, did you said something about have I used the Lone Wolf stuff from this year? Let's see if I can figure out this little chat deal. Stevie, will you go on there?
I'm trying.
Sorry, I missed that message. Give me like 2 seconds. Stevie's looking it up to see what you said.
Have you, from Chad Reed, have you used Lone Wolf stuff this year?
Absolutely. So I use, number one, this is the Lone Wolf Summer. It's a little bit bigger one. And then let me get over here in the truck. It's going to get dark. Sorry. But over here in the truck, for y'all that don't know me, when bow season comes in, this is what the bed of my truck looks like 24/7. The only thing that goes in the back of it is my hunting stuff. But back in there behind the tote is my little Lone Wolf assault climber. And so, yeah, I use my Lone Wolf stuff, I would say 75% of the time. 90% of my films this year have actually been done out of my Lone Wolf stuff. I'll use the Lone Wolf climbers most of the time because most of the time I can find a tree to get in with those. And then if I find a tree that I'm gonna get in and I'm gonna stay all day, a saddle, and like I said, and I'm gonna sit all day, I will take the JX3. And if it is a saddle tree that I'm gonna be in, like a morning hunt, come back in the evening, I would say I use, like I said, the Lone Wolf about 75% of the time. Probably the rest of it's kind of split down the middle in between a lock-on and a saddle. So, but from what I've heard out in Kansas, I'm probably going to end up using that saddle a little bit more. I know in northern Missouri, it almost just was not even an option using a climber, as I found out when we went down there. Now, the deer that you see me shoot in Missouri, I ended up finding a climber tree, but I was hunting in some bottoms. If I was going to hunt those field edges, I wouldn't have been able to. Alex, we're going public, man. Come on now. You know me better than that. You think I'm going to pay for a hunt? Get out of here with that nonsense. We're going public. I think we drew for zone 10 and 11. So, I don't know. Eric's down here in the comments. He was he was the man behind the planning everything this year. But yeah, we're going public. So you can guarantee my little trailer that I've got right here. Inside of it holds my bed and all that kind of stuff. If you haven't seen the video from Missouri, I kind of gave a little shot inside of it. But the way that my wall looks with my stands hanging and then the kayak is exactly what the inside of that trailer will look like next week. So I'm gonna run some screws in the sides, because everywhere I go, guys, I don't know how else to explain it, but everywhere I go, I carry everything I have, so that if I find myself in a situation I need it, then I have it. Like I said, I've got all that stuff. I've got more climbing sticks over here. It's dark in this room, and I haven't in this replaced the lights, but I've got XOP double steps in there. I've got my trophy line steps in there. And then I've been playing with these JX3 a lot, so they're here on the floor. So you can guarantee when we get to Kansas next week, I'll have the JX3, the trophy line, and probably both of my Lone Wolves. I know that sounds crazy, but it depends on the tree, if I like the little one or a little bit bigger one. And then I will most certainly have that XOP Vanish with me as well. You take everything but the wife. Absolutely. You got to stay down here and hold down the fort. And plus, I mean, you know, if you go on a hunting trip, she's pretty. I like to look at her. I like to focus on the deer, you know, so she's just got to keep her away. She says she likes the bed to herself. That is also true. Absolutely. So, D, I don't know what your last name was. Sorry about that. So I talked to XOP, babe, about a month ago.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to him again 3 days ago, I believe, and it's looking like November. So there's more to that stand than what I originally thought. I was really hoping that it was going to be some kind of platform like the Lone Wolf is, but it's looking like it's going to be more of a sit and climb. So if you've ever seen, I can't remember that XOP that was out a couple years ago, but it's very similar to their last XOP. So it is a sit and climb, but it is a fold flat. So November time frame is what they're saying. I would say probably towards the end of November, because we haven't heard from them the last, I don't know, what week.
Yeah.
We probably need.
We don't have it yet either.
Yeah, we don't have it yet, and they said that we would get it a couple weeks before it actually hit, so that we could get a video out to you guys so you could see it. So just as soon as we do, my wife's gonna send an email. She's gonna send it. There's your answer. Wife's gonna send an email when we're done doing this, and then I will post it in the comments on what they get back with us. And they're usually pretty good, so we'll probably hear back tomorrow. Yeah, because tomorrow's Monday. Yeah, we should hear back.
At the ATA again this year.
Yeah, XOP's always at the ATA though. Yeah, they're talking about, so he's talking about that new climber that was gonna drop before deer season.
Oh no.
So, it's what it is. When you get older, like me, and sit and climb. Hey, so I agree. I'm not hating on the sit and climb. Hang on. So let's rewind just a minute. The other thing that you guys need to know is that I buy 90% of my stuff. If you haven't watched any of my videos, I always talk about I don't take any money for reviews. So a lot of times that comes with not taking product either. It just is what it is. They either want to be teams or they don't want to be teams. That middle of the road kind of thing that I try to do doesn't always work out so well. However, when it comes to like the Lone Wolves, when I first looked at the Lone Wolf years and years ago and I got it, they came out with a sit and climb. And just know, if I had an extra $400 to drop on one, I would also have a sit and climb. But I do not. So you will not hear me dissing anybody for using the sit and climb. By the way, if you ordered one of these hats, the rest of them are inside. I guess I should bring them out here so y'all could have kind of seen them. But that's, you know what, maybe I need to take the wife on hunting trips if she does little runs for me. But anyways, still use the old man climber. Hey, you know what? Let me finish this train of thought, then I get to that old man climber. Anyways, if I had the extra money, I would also have a sit and climb because I like them. I plan on buying one of the XOPs that are going to come out, you know, hopefully in November. Oh, I know you're just joking, man. Me too. Bring back a wall hanger. Man, I hope so. You know why? Because my man room, I still have 2 deer at the taxidermist, but my man room is starting to slouch. I'm needing to add 2.
Sorry.
I like to look at the deer, and so I need to add a couple more. Sarge, outside. Sorry, my wife ran off, and then the dog ran off. Man, that's like a country song. All right, so the wife's gonna kind of, if you ordered a hat, we're gonna kind of run through it. This is like the light gray and brown. That's the dark brown and tan. That is gray and white. Absolutely. That is the green color and black. It's one of my favorite ones.
Is there another color?
Yeah, and then there's the dark gray and black, which is the hat that I wear all the time. Want the west side of the state? You need to be in a tree. Excuse me. Travis, get out of here. I know you're the bomb diggity and all, but that ain't gonna work. But no, so whenever it comes to like the nice hats, thanks, man. I'm down to like 2. So we ordered a bunch of them, and obviously we did not order enough. No, I do not have any in camouflage. The Richardson 112s are extremely hard to get. And then to get them in camo, just so you guys know, whenever I get these hats, I literally charge enough to get them to you, and that's it. And so the camouflage hats, my cost are $38, and I just don't. If I was somebody else, I wouldn't want to pay $45 for a hat. That's the reason that I don't have any camouflage ones. It's just because they're expensive to get the color on them. So, what time we at, babe? 7-Eleven. We got 25 people on here. Well, I think we're gonna let's go to the public land options, mostly saddle. So that's okay. Ghillie suit. Hey, so there's a guy named John that hunts on or that is on all of our pages, and he uses a ghillie suit, and he killed a hell of a deer, like basically sitting on the ground using CAMO DUST using a ghillie suit. Colton, I have 3 left as of now. If you don't follow us on Facebook, you can get over there and send me a private message. I just do them through there, so there's no fees and stuff. Like I said, guys, I literally try to keep it as cheap as I possibly can. If you want one, but recommended your trail cameras 8 foot off the ground or at your waist. So I think that depends on where you're hunting at with the trail cameras, and don't worry about getting off topic. So with the trail cameras, it depends on where I'm at. If I'm in a place where there's a whole lot of people, I'll try to set them up high, and that's just to keep people from trying to steal them. But just know that whenever you put them up on, if you put them up on a tree, whether they're down low or they're up high, use fishing string. Because when you look out across the woods and you find somebody's camera, usually it's that straight line. It's that thing that's kind of out of place. So usually if I'm in a place that there's a lot of, traffic, I'll set it up higher, tie it on with fishing string. And then if I'm not, I'll just tie it down about, I don't know. I usually run mine about thigh high, probably thigh to waist. Yeah, so the wife can reach out here behind the house. That's why we do it there. But so let's do at least one giveaway, right? So we're going to do these in the order that they came in. I'm sorry, it is what it is. The first thing we're going to do, I wish I could do is it Vanna White? Vanna White? Yeah, I wish I could do that, but I can't. So Stevie is fixing, let's go, 3K. All right, so the wife is fixing to do the scroll thing. So again, guys, this is the video. I don't know how well y'all can see that.
Is it clear? I can't look.
Not really, but it's okay.
I have to do math for this. I put work in.
The wife's so proud of herself.
I am. I think that's an ad. Hold on.
All right, so while she's playing with that, and guys, if I miss your comment whenever we're done with this, I'll get on there and scroll back through it and see if I can answer the questions or whatever. We're just small town folk, man, just trying to have fun. All right, so she's starting it now. Peter Janey. Is that what it says?
Peter Janey.
Peter Janey. So if you're in here, thumbs up right now so I know that you're in here. Peter Janey, if you can, reach out to me via email, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Clifton Denny is my name. You can find me on Facebook, or you can go to the On Your Own Outdoors link on TikTok, Facebook, I don't know, the rest of the stuff. I don't know if you can see this. We'll kind of pause it up there so you can see what the titles are. So Peter Janey, you are the winner of the muddy seat. I really hope that you enjoy it. So we're gonna roll on since we're already going. Been on this thing for like 15 minutes, and Stevie is getting it set up. Again, we're new to this stuff, so she's getting that thing going so that we can get over and we'll do the Camo Dust giveaway as well. But yeah, tons of fun, man. Y'all don't count me out. I usually don't ever even kill a buck. I've had a whole bunch of guys message me and be like, "Are you having a down year?" And I'm like, "No." I usually don't even start killing bucks till the end of November. Just seems like when I like to chase cruising corridors is what I like to hunt. Not really so much bedding areas and feed trees. And these early season bucks are for those feed tree guys. Not hating, it works for a lot of people, but that's just not what I do. So. The buck that I got a couple weeks ago, I just call him a bonus buck. You good?
Correct.
All right, Stevie is ready. Do the little hold up thing again. We're doing the 2 cans of Camo Dust. It is a double pack. By the way, just a little, just a little heads up before we do this giveaway. Every buck that gets posted on my page this season, we're doing a Camo Dust video. So if you see it, you know what to do. So dead down wins fake. I'm sorry. So, but it is. It is. He asked, and that's not a joke. So, hey, listen, real quick before we get on this, when it comes to a spray and it comes to the powder, this is what I always tell everybody. A spray is like a cleaning agent, right? It's made to and it kills what's on contact. The problem with the spray, I'm not saying that it doesn't work, but the problem with the spray is that it kills what's there and your body is constantly regenerating more smell, right? Your scent molecule is moisture, and that's where the Camo Dust comes in because that moisture comes through, it latches to it, it's been through a patent, it kills and eliminates that scent. But remember, no matter what you're gonna use, I prefer to use Camo Dust, and I'm telling you, I've been through everything. But it is the process that makes the product, and it is the product that makes the process. So keep your clothes scent free as possible. Don't go walk around the petroleum products at the gas station. Don't go in and eat a chicken strip, wipe it all over your face before you go in the stand. Take care of your stuff and the product will take care of you. Let's get in this thing. Stevie's got it rolling right here.
Will Glass.
Will Glass. I don't know if you're on here or not, but Mr. Will Glass, same things I told the guy a while ago. I'll send you a message. But find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or you can email us here at our email that's posted on the page, and we will get to you. And I know gun season's coming up, guys. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, Jerry. I know that what I call season is actually fixing to start because November's here. Voice crack, but November's almost here. So we're going to do some more giveaways. We're trying to, I'm telling you, man, the reason that I always preach Camo Dust is because, I carry it with my kid, and my kid has a better time whenever we use Camo Dust because we see it more. Camo Dust makes Camo Dust. Is that a good answer? Raimi, what's going on, buddy? But anyways, guys, so what I'm saying is with the Camo Dust, it works. I guarantee it works. There are so many guys on my page. If you don't follow my Facebook, get on there and just type in "does Camo Dust work?" and you'll see. Yeah, hey, so while we're on here, and all you guys that are still on here, listen, if you would like for me to do more lives with like question and answers where we can get down into deep of the weeds and kind of like a more personal thing other than just commenting on something, by all means, drop a thumbs up on this. If we get a few of them, I'll do them. I'm already going to start doing what we said we were going to start in January, I think. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each one of my deer that I've killed and we'll kind of post it up behind us, and we will do a terrain map and then a wind map and have the moon phases and stuff from those times and what I think was critical about killing those deer and where they were at. And so I set up an office, 2 months ago to do lives because the wife said that I needed to. And to be honest, I just didn't know if that's something that would be valuable to guys or whatever. But we will most certainly, if y'all'd like to do that, especially while I'm like in Kansas, man, I'm just hanging out around the campfire. So check it out next week. I'll try to post an updated video, but if I have enough light at the campsite, I think that might be, we'll just call it campsite stories, right? And we'll do like a campsite question and answer. So, it is what it is. Let's see, start using CAMO DUST here, not sure. One time. Yeah, so hey, the CAMO DUST link, just so you know, I understand the getting it from Amazon. Any of my videos, if you go down in the description, there's a link there, and it's like $1 cheaper. It's not, make the break or not make or break the bank. Golly, I can't use my words right. But in any of my videos, if you'll drop down, number one, any of the products that I do, I always post a link down there of the cheapest place I could find the product, right? It's not a store or whatever. It's the cheapest place that I can find the product. And then also the CAMO DUST link is down there in the bottom of those on every one of my videos. So, okay, cool. We'll do some map videos then. Golly, man, y'all making my wife right. She's been trying to get me to do the topo map videos forever. Them fat lines. Gotta stay on them fat lines. But yeah, anybody got any like quick questions, comments, concerns, gripes, complaints, things I can do better? This is your time. I'm gonna hang out here for a couple more minutes for that. Try to make it short because I can't read real fast. My mind's thinking, and I'm looking. $22 on Amazon and $11 on XOP. Yeah, so XOP last year when we were at the ATA, and I think it's a little bit more than $11 on XOP. But last year when we were at the ATA, we met those guys at Randy, right? So we met Randy with XOP. We were talking about CAMO DUST, and I was talking about their gear, and then I was talking about how cool it would be to be able to use CAMO DUST on a product. So, hey, listen, I will most certainly use the JX3 on a deer if it's in a situation where I need to. I don't mean that bad. That's just like my Lone Wolf. It's just like my XOP. It's just like, I've got 2 ladder stands set up behind the house. It is all about where I'm hunting at dictates what product I'm going to use. And I don't mean that bad. I love all the products, but I'm never going to use a product just because it is a product. I'm going to use it for what I would like to use it for, which is to, help me in that certain situation. So you might get to see it in Kansas dictated by the terrain. All your hunting's behind your house. Hey, I bet there's 300 acres. I wish, babe, we need 300 acres.
I want 300 acres.
We've got
plant corn and soybeans. I want to feed my deers, and I want them real fat.
Yeah, we've got 20 acres here, but we actually got lucky. We've got 2 ridges that run through our property. So hey, and this is another thing real quick. So the guys, they're always like, the only deer that I get on my small property is the deer I get on my small property. That couldn't be the furthest from a lie. And you should get out and scout more on your property. Sorry, my wife gave me the dirty look. She doesn't like it whenever I say negative stuff. However, and the reason I say that, I have a ridge on my property that runs north and south, and I have one that runs east and west, and they meet in the southeast corner of my property. And here nor there, I can put a camera on both of them, and I get different bucks on both sides of my 20 acres, and it is 225 yards across. So just so you guys know, if you got a small property, hunt that dude, and don't be afraid to hunt around it, because those deer most certainly move all over it. You don't always just see the same deer. That's not real, but it is what it is. I mean, to each their own. I guess while we're kind of hanging out, I'll show Eric so he could be mad at me. Eric texted me earlier and said, asked if I was getting ready to go to Kansas yet. Look, Eric, it's empty, completely empty. So, hey guys, I'm gonna wrap it up for this one. I'll most certainly get back with you guys in the next few days or so. We've got another product coming out tomorrow. A video of it. It is a bag feed. So, e-bike anytime soon. So that was not my e-bike. Like I said, I'm poor. So that was not my e-bike. That was an e-bike that I borrowed. to do a video. And so anyways, that wasn't my e-bike. Maybe one day I can afford to go get one of those because I'd love to, but I do not have an e-bike. I did really like that e-bike, which is the reason I said it, but I do not have one. So I was just 6 points from college. Man, get out of here, bro. And let's see. So just so you are aware, I know I'm gonna hit Kansas. If I can get lucky enough to harvest one earlier, I don't let 130s walk. So there you go. If you follow this page, just know every 3.5-year-old deer that is a 130 plus catches a tag from me. But if I can get lucky enough to harvest one, we're gonna hit it pretty right, it seems like. In Kansas, I'm off for 13 days. I'm gonna jump back over to Missouri and then hopefully get to go to Oklahoma this year. And then the first week of January, I'm going back to Alabama, because any place I can hunt for 5 days and see 60 deer, I want to be there. And so Alabama is one of those. And if y'all don't know this, I love to eat deer meat. And in Alabama, you can kill a doe a day. That's insane. And I have another video that I need to post that is me missing the 8-point that I have been hunting at the Hot Springs Village. I whiffed him, shot like 1.5 feet over his back, used the wrong pin. So that was another thing that was real cool. He showed up today. I was working the ranges today, so I didn't get to northwest Alabama, but I didn't get to go hunt today, and the buck showed back up broad daylight today at like 2:15, and it was terrible because I was talking to one of the guys at work, and just that weather breaking and changing, I was like, man, that buck's gonna show up today, and just like that, he did. If I'd have been in the stand, he'd have been 18 yards from me. So, but it's part of it. You know what I mean? That's if I went out and killed one every time I hunted, I wouldn't enjoy it so much. So, you know, it is what it is. But hey, guys, I appreciate you guys for coming on. I appreciate all the support. I promise you, any stuff I can get from anybody, I'm giving it away. So throughout the year, make sure you're tracking, make sure you're watching, and I will try to get as much stuff out to you guys as you can. Appreciate it, man. Good hunting. If we don't kill any, it won't be from lack of trying. There's actually 5 of us going. Eric, myself, my brother, and then 2 of Eric's buddies. So Eric and I both, as you've seen, if you have followed the page, we will both be running a camera. While I've got some of y'all on here, everybody get in the comments and beat up Eric, because Eric and I have a big buck on camera, and he was lazy this afternoon and did not go kill him. And so I'm upset. KG, you know, I'll let you know, man. We'll be there the same time, first week of January. We'll be down there the week before I have to go to the ATA. So I plan on coming to Alabama, hanging out there for about 7 days, coming back, and then coming back so I can go to work for a day, so I don't get charged 2 weekends of leave, and then cutting back out and going to the ATA. So there you go. Beat him up. Beat up Eric. I know Eric's in here. He's playing games, but Eric's in here. So beat that dude up. But it is a dang good looking deer. So this deer is not a high scoring deer. Eric's all about those numbers. He's all about the numbers. That's what's wrong with him. And so Eric is, I don't know what my wife's doing. She's peeking-pieing through the door. But Eric is all about the numbers, and he wants to shoot a 150 and whatever. And so, come here, buddy. Here, say hi.
Hi.
Bowman's leaving. Give me kisses. Love you.
Love you.
Get your backpack out the truck. But anyways, Eric's all about the numbers. This deer's like 20 inches wide. He doesn't have anything for tines, but he looks like a cow in the video. I mean, he's huge. He's a big old deer. And Eric is a clown and sent me the picture and was like, I think I'm gonna go kill him tomorrow. And then I texted him earlier today. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm packing for Kansas. Because the reason he's having to pack today, in case y'all don't know, Eric's a shady friend, and he's leaving, going to Kansas early. We're not supposed to go till Friday, and now all these dudes are like, oh, I might go on Monday, I might go on Tuesday, I might go on Wednesday. They're just trying to get down there. That's what I'm talking about, Travis. But they're just trying to get down there to try to get one up on me. I'm going to surpass them, though. That's what's going to happen. Cool live feed. Yeah, I'll check my email. That went by quick. Sorry, buddy, but I'll look at the email. I did catch that. Something about live feed and checking my email. So I will most certainly check my email. But yeah, so Kansas, hopefully Missouri, Oklahoma, sleeper state. I'm telling you guys, you get a tag, Oklahoma. That's exactly what I'm talking about, Brad. Yeah, exactly. Make up lack of talent. Number one, Eric's gonna go. He's gonna drop like 5 pins, and then so I've never hunted Oklahoma. I'm sorry. I've never hunted it. I've done a whole bunch of map scouting, and when I say I've never hunted it, I have never. I've never actually deer hunted it. I've killed a whole bunch of y'all's turkeys, a whole bunch of them. There's a whole bunch of beards in the house that didn't. They got to come on back across the line, but I have not ever deer hunted Oklahoma. I'm gonna hit kind of south central. That's where I'm gonna go. I like that steep terrain. I like to hunt the ridges. A lot of guys hate that. It's always funny to me because you find a river bottom guy or you find a ridge guy, and I hunt both. The WMA that I try to spend most of my time on here in Arkansas, I think I've killed 8 Pope and Youngs off of that place. It is most certainly, it's got like half just steep elevation straight up and down, and then the other half is all river bottoms. I was trying to think of something useful that I could tell you guys or show you guys while I was on here, and I ain't got nothing. Everything's all loaded in the back end of the truck, guys. I'm sorry. So from the day that I get in season, man, there's always people out here shooting. But from the day that season starts, I've got a bed cover on my truck. It actually came on the truck, but I've got a bed cover. And from the day that season comes in until the day that I decide to hang my bow up for the year, which is usually February 28th because it's the last day of season. But from those times, the only thing that goes in the bed of my truck is my hunting stuff. I don't put any groceries, any of that kind of stuff. They all go in the back seat. I don't put any cans of gas, nothing. It all it all stays loaded up with nothing but my hunting stuff. So, I mean, literally, if I was to open up the back door, my compound bow's in the floor, and then bows, or my dad's Raven that my son is using right now, is sitting up in the seat. And if you've been following that, Bowman has still not got a deer. I took him twice at the end of last week. Even though I knew better, weather wasn't right. Deer weren't moving. Weather wasn't right. Deer moving at night. It's like the next rap song. That's a deer hunting rap song. Anyways, so I carried him twice, man, and my little dude's a champ. He set 3.5 hours one day, 3 hours and like 25 minutes the next day. Was super quiet, super calm, and did not see a deer. He got burnt, said he wanted to take a week off. And I'm going to try to take him hopefully like Wednesday afternoon. So yeah, dedicated truck only to hunting. I wish I could do that, but I have one out here, but it's, the tires for it have been sitting in my garage for a year and a half.
What are they asking about?
A guy said he has a hunt or a truck dedicated to strictly hunting, and I said I probably would too, but it's out there. And actually, right over my wife's head, that box, that was the headlights for it.
I bought you those headlights.
She did. She bought me those headlights as a gift, and I've never put them on. So I guess that's kind of part of it or whatever. Any questions? Anything? Something? Nothing? A little bit?
John
Stevie
Grayman.
just said so. Who?
John Grayman. He's on the live.
Uh-huh.
So we did get your email. He emailed about those people that you sent the Facebook message to, the platform,
Okay.
the Barren Ridge tree stands.
Yeah. Yeah, hey, so John, what was his last name?
Grayman?
Grayman?
Yeah.
John Grayman. I did just see a while ago you said something about the email. So I did reach out to, what's the name of them?
Barren Ridge tree stands.
Barren Ridge Tree Stands. I sent them a Facebook message, explained what my page was, that it's a review page just to help guys get their product names out. I was specifically interested in that when you sent it to me because it is so much like a small climber. So I was very interested in it because I'm not a huge fan of climbing sticks. But I don't use any kind of fake ass sense. Sorry, Travis. But anyways, I did reach out to him. I sent him a big book explaining the page and what we did. And I actually even told him, I was like, listen, I know it sounds crazy, but you send me the product, send me a shipping label. When I'm done with it, I will turn around and send it straight back to you. So if you would like to see that barren tree stand done, John, by all means, feel free to get on their Facebook page and go message them and be like, hey, man, this guy on Your Own Outdoors would love to help y'all spread the word about that product, because I think it's awesome. I think it is a great idea. Do I think everybody will use it? No. But I think the guys that are going from a small climber like myself and trying to dabble over into the saddle world, those things are awesome. And if you guys don't know what we're talking about, you most certainly can go look at them. It's basically like a climber that you just stick 1 foot in instead of both feet. And so when you're sitting in your saddle, you just kind of go up 1 foot at a time. It's a pretty nifty thing. So anyways, guys, I think that's it. I know I've said that like 4 times, but I don't have anything else to talk about. And to be honest, I am building a race car out of Legos. I'll show you. I'm building a race car out of Legos for my son. And let me just tell you guys, I didn't know that Legos were such a pain. Outside the other guy's last post. Man, so the thing about Summit, yeah, these things are nuts. There's so many pieces. The thing about Summit, and so if you go back and look, I've done a whole bunch of Summit stands, a whole bunch of them. And I have either bought and returned, borrowed from a buddy, or if y'all haven't seen Max Prairie Wings, 110%, I gotta give those guys a shout out, because Jody and them, number one, they do not sponsor. That's not anything that Max Prairie Wings does. But what they have allowed me to do is come in and borrow some products to go do reviews of. And it works out great for both of us, right? Because usually they're the cheapest one that I can find anyway. So I put their link in the bottom of it, and that's how I got some of those stands. And then some of the rest of them, like I said, I bought them. What part of Arkansas do I hunt? Every part of it. And I know that sounds crazy. I hunt from the west all the way to the east. And then I dabble up north a little bit, dabble down south a little bit, but kind of stay central and just straight across the state. And I particularly try to chase the rut. I like to hunt cruising deer. I love to use my calls. I start using my calls day one, and I will use my calls all the way through the end of January. I think that guys that aren't using calls just because they haven't used it in the right time and seen what it can really do for your hunt. So I will start, the first week of September this year, I actually started. And then 2 weeks ago on Hot Springs Village, I rattled in a spike, the 8-point that I missed, whiffed, and then like 4 does. And whenever I say I rattled them in, I know guys are gonna be like, rattled in a doe. Listen, that happens, okay? So does and bucks, when it comes to does and bucks, a lot of guys think that bucks are grunting, they're chasing deer or whatever. Listen, guys, I'm not saying that it's a wise tale, but what I'm saying is that you asked the brand to calls. So, brand of calls. Number one, a lot of guys are going to beat up on store-bought calls. I have used a buck roar for years. I love my buck roar. It's a Primo's buck roar. And then the other call that I actually use is a Mission game call. The guy's out of Missouri. He's got a page. His name is Matt Ward. But I do use the Mission grunt call as well. But I do like my other one, Drew County. You should go hunt your family's place in Drew County. So Drew County's got some good deer. Yeah, you definitely need to be there. Really and truly, man, I'm telling you, Arkansas is a sleeper state. Everybody, I've killed some great deer. I'm not on here bragging or whatever. I've killed some great deer. But I also do not let a Pope and Young walk. I can't say that. I don't let a whole bunch of Pope and Youngs walk. If I'm on public land, Pope and Young comes by me, I'm killing him. There's guys in Arkansas that are just killing the heck out of 150, 160-inch deer because they're letting 130s walk. That's just probably not something I'm ever going to do. I've got, Richard Fott told me years ago, he said, can't wait till the day you start letting 130s walk. Well, that's been like 6 years and like 10 deer ago, and I'm still killing them because I think they're pretty. I like them. I like coming in the house and looking at horns. But when it comes to calling, hey, look, so grunt, rattle, do all those things. If you're doing it right and you're paying attention to your cover, that's the biggest thing whenever it comes to calling. It's not so much knowing that you're calling the right way, it's knowing you're set up right. So if you're setting up in a wide open flat and you're trying to call deer, that deer can, from 200 yards, you can't see him. He can tell there's not a fight happening over there. So when you set up, make sure there's some kind of brush top, make sure there's like a thicket, something like that behind you. That's what I like to do. And it really, really works out well. The other thing is like rattling and grunting. People are always worried that it's going to scare off does. I'm telling you, I probably call him more doe than I call him buck. And I don't hunt feed trees, so the doe has no reason to be where I'm at. So by all means, rattling and grunting, I will most certainly do a live video. We will get that scheduled because I think that's important. But rattle, grunting, do that stuff all year long. What?
What are we getting scheduled?
Doing a call-in video.
Got it.
The wife's gotten this stuff down for me. But anyways, call all year. You cannot over call. Don't be on your grunt call going, don't do that. But if you're just, with your grunt call, do it. If you want to tickle your horns together, bucks always spar, man. I have cameras out every year. As soon as they start getting hardened horn, you see bucks tickling their horns together and stuff like that. Start tickling those horns together. If nothing else, it just makes a deer think there's other deer in the area. How often do I rattle and grunt? I grunt all the time. And I know that sounds crazy, but I have a short attention span. I get really bored in the stand. I don't want to be on my phone. And so about probably every 5 minutes, I'll start on one side and kind of, and I'll kind of bring it back so that if that deer's at the end of that calling sequence, he doesn't think I'm coming at him and he kind of thinks I'm cutting back the other direction. So I'll kind of pivot my head a little bit. The other thing is, guys, when you're using your grunt call, don't work it like a duck call, right? You'll see me in my videos where it looks like I'm doing that, but it's just creature of habit. It's actually like this, and I have it open. Think about a deer. So when you're doing this with your grunt call, you are like a duck, whack, whack. A buck doesn't do that. If you've ever seen a buck grunt, he's, his mouth is open the whole time. He's not cutting that off, right? So you get that, when you're using your hand, you get kind of that drag to where if you're not using your hand, you're just blowing in that call, you get that kind of direct cutoff. And I know that sounds small, but to that 5.5-year-old deer, that's a huge difference. He's like, I don't care if that's a $200 call, that's somebody using a call. And then rattling, I kind of go by feel. If it is a kind of, that 3 to, I'll say, 7 mile an hour wind, I'll probably cut down on those horns a lot. On those extremely calm mornings, not so much. Those extremely calm mornings, I'll usually hit it right there at daylight. By the way, if you are calling and you have a set of rattle horns with you, as soon as you can see your peep yard or your peep site at 30 yards, bang your horns together. Don't play nice, play mean, and bang your horns together. You will call in more deer in that little bit of light than you will any other time. And it's nothing more than what I was telling you earlier. Deer are creatures, their curiosity kills the cat. So deer can hear that fight going on, but they can't see it. That is the best time to get a buck in range with your bow when it comes to calling, is that first light. Last light can be extremely beneficial, but again, it depends on how you're set up. I've killed them in the middle of the day, but like I said, always try to set up with something thick behind me. So if you have the opportunity, you have a place, you've got some ridges, you're in the bottoms, you got one of those little red oak thickets that's down there in the low area, by all means, take your horns in there with you. Another thing that I like to do, I learned this from Michael Raper. I'll name drop people all day long. Michael Raper showed me this, but take fishing string and get you an 8-ounce weight or a big nut, something like that. And so what I do is when I get in the stand, I throw it out there about 20 yards from me, if I can make it that far. Let's be real, it's probably like 10 yards. Especially when it's really dry. And what that will do is help you close the gap. So other guys use walking bags and such, and I'm not saying that's a bad idea. I've just never used one. But you can keep that fishing string right there and kind of take your offhand over here and just kind of slowly pull it into you when you're doing that calling sequence. And it makes that sound. So if you've got a thicket behind you, you're banging horns together, You're rubbing up against a tree every once in a while, and now you have that which is like what I call that foot drag of that big deer coming in. That can seal the deal. That's pretty successful. I'm gonna tell you right now, it works. So, all right, this time I'm for real. I love you guys. Thank you all for the support. By all means, like I said, get on here, leave a like in the comments or like the video or whatever if you would like to see more lives, and we'll make that happen. Maybe we can try to start doing it like once a week or something like that, so that we can actually keep up. What I would like to be able to do is being able to keep up with guys in the time of year that they're hunting. So maybe we can start that. If listen, guys, remember, I have a full-time job, and then this is most certainly almost a full-time job as itself. So I will do it as often as I can. If you don't follow the Facebook page, go follow the Facebook page. That's where I put out a lot of information about the videos that I'm going to do. So get over there, follow that. The wife's coming over to attack me. I don't know what's happening.
I'm not attacking. So, DG Gravit 33, we will republish the live so that you didn't take notes, so you'll be able to rewatch it. Okay.
And by the way, I will get the name of the podcast, number 1, episode 300 in the Southern Outdoorsman podcast. I did that, last year? And I described in detail the way that I use the wind to my advantage, because I don't hunt downwind, I hunt upwind. Sounds nuts. You just have to see the big picture. And then I did another podcast the other day, and I wish they were on here right now so they could drop the name of it. But I will also go back and get it, and I will drop it in the comments as well. We kind of talked about calling and the reason why I use expandable broadheads instead of fixed blades. And the last piece of advice I'm going to give you, shoot the broadhead for where you shoot the deer. Don't shoot the broadhead because what everybody else says. I'm a lung guy. So if this is the side of a deer, I don't shoot for the pocket. I hold off 6 inches. Therefore, I shoot a big expandable broadhead. I shoot a rage hypodermic. If you are a pocket puncher, you are a dude that tries to heart shoot every deer that you shoot, for the love of God, please do not shoot an expandable broadhead, because if you get in that shoulder, you're going to lose it. It is what it is. It's simple math. I use the rage hypodermic. I have for years. Everybody says they don't work. I've got, 13 Pope and Youngs that's been killed with them. I've got one that was killed with an NAP kill zone, which is basically the same thing. But anyways, shoot the broadhead for where you're shooting the deer. Same thing whenever it comes to the weight of your arrow and that kind of stuff. If you're a guy that won't take a shot over 25 yards, then who cares? Shoot a 500 grain arrow. That's perfectly fine. If you're a guy that likes to shoot a deer at 45 and 50 like myself, I'm not going over about 460 grains. I'm not going to. Shoot for what you're shooting for. So shoot a broadhead that you're shooting for, shoot the bow that you're shooting for. And what I mean by bow is speed bow versus, the comfort bows. If you're shooting up there, 30 yards and less, those comfort bows are great. They're perfect bows. Get one of those, get you a Hoyt, set that dude up at one of the old school Hoyts, not the new ones, they're a little bit faster. Get you an old school Hoyt with a 600 grain setup and a fixed blade that looks like this. Hell, tie a rock onto it and you can kill that deer at 30 yards. So shoot for what you're shooting at. If you're shooting for that pocket, get you that fixed blade. If you're a lung shooter like myself, the reason I shoot lungs is because I hold 6 to 8 inches off of that shoulder. I'm in the back side of the lungs. If I pull towards the rear end and I gut punch a deer, which if you have bow hunted enough, you have done it. A lot of guys like to give me crap for losing deer. I usually lose one a year, but I'm also killing 15 to 20 deer a year. So, that average is not bad. But if you pull back, and I was to pull with my setup, I'm going to punch that deer through the guts. I can back out. I can back out with Matthews. But anyways, I can back out, give that deer 8 hours, come back in, and he's most likely dead inside of 200 with shooting him through the guts. If I pull forward 6 inches, I pocket punch the deer. I did exactly what everybody else says is the right thing, and I heart shot him. So for me, I shoot mid-body. If you watch any of my videos, check out where the hole's at whenever I get over to him. Usually it's mid-body and, that far behind the shoulder. It's where I like to shoot. It's an extremely deadly shot. It's a shot that has looked a lot. because everybody wants that TV show shot. Everybody wants that heart punch. You don't have to heart punch deer to kill deer. You can hold back, use that large cut in diameter, and still kill deer, and not have a 600 grain arrow, which again I'm not against, because the guys I just did the podcast with the other day, same thing with the hunting public. They use a fixed blade, and they use they use a fixed blade, and they use a heavy arrow setup. Never going to talk bad about their setup, because they also talk about they will not shoot a deer over 30 yards. And I think that's outstanding. There's nothing wrong with that. And for a heavy setup and a fixed blade, and 90% of the deer, at least that Aaron and them shooting, he's trying to heart punch that thing. So for that is a great setup. So any of your shops that you go to, go in there. I would hope if you're telling them where you're trying to shoot the deer at, maybe they can guide you on that. If you have any questions about broadheads and stuff, I've done a bunch of them. If you have further questions, again, like we had talked about multiple times in this, feel free to message me. I promise you there's at least, there's still 20 people in here right now. I bet you there's at least 5 that have messaged me, and I guarantee you there's not one that says I haven't got back to them. So if you have a question, shoot me a message. I like it. I like to talk hunting. I'll talk hunting all day long. So, but for tonight, I'm done talking hunting. Good night, guys. I appreciate you guys for coming out. If you haven't liked and subscribed, I'm sure you all have. If you haven't, make sure you do so, and come over and follow us on Facebook so you know when we're doing another giveaway. I appreciate it, guys. Good night. I appreciate it, guys. Good night and good hunting.